Happy Monday. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Mine was absolutely miserable because my son got sick, I got sick, my wife got sick. It was nasty. Okay, so we're talking about ratios of fractions. Really what we're talking about today is finding unit rates with fractions. Remember, when we do unit rate, we are going to take the denominator and divide the denominator into the denominator and the numerator, which leaves us with the denominator of 1. Remember, unit rate must have a denominator of 1. So right now you are skipping example 1. You're going to come back to that. Go to example 2. It says, is Meredith correct? A turtle walks 7/8 of a mile in 50 minutes. What is the unit rate when the turtle's speed is expressed in miles per hour? And then it says, to find the turtle's unit rate, Meredith wrote the following complex fraction. Explain how the fraction 5/6 was obtained. So we're not solving anything yet, but we know, first off, that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Okay? So how do we get the 5/6? Well, it's saying that there's 50 minutes, that this turtle went 7/8 of a mile in 50 minutes. So there's 50 minutes over the 60 full minutes. Again, we want to simplify this, so we are going to divide. But when we divide, we're not going to divide by 60 minutes rates. We're not looking for a unit rate. We're just trying to simplify. Both end in 0 in the ones place, so we divide by 10. That leaves me 5/6, which now gives me the same fraction that we saw Meredith saying of 7/8 divided by 5/6. Okay? So, what you're going to do now is you're going to pause this video. Okay? You're doing question B, but I need you to pause the video because we did a warm-up like this. You're on your own. So pause the video now. Actually, not now. Now, do question B. Once you have it, then unpause the video. Go. Really, if you haven't paused it, you need to pause it and do the work. Okay, so unpause, take a look at the work that I've done so far. Okay, so even though it's a division problem, when we divide 7/8 by 5/6, we have to keep change flip. I hate saying that. It's the easiest way that you know it. You should have been taught how to divide fractions already. So it's just a little hint for you. So the reason why I have 7/8 times 6/5, I change, I flip. So I've got 21/20 as my unit rate. Even though the denominator in this isn't 1, the denominator in the whole problem still is 1. It's 21/20 divided by 1. That's my unit rate. So the turtle was going 21/20 miles per hour. Does that make a lot of sense to us as far as miles per hour? Well, no, but it's all right, okay? So that's where we're at now. Hopefully you got question B correct. If not, I want you to pause again, go back and try it on your own. Don't just copy down the work. I want you to see, hey, where did I make a mistake, okay? So now we're going to example 3, I believe. Where's my sheet? Somebody stole it. Let's see. Really, who stole it? Oh no, it's on here. Aha. No, I'm not going to example 3. We're going to exercise 1. Yay! So exercise 1. Let's see if you're going to be able to see me. I'm not going to have to move this. It's been one of those days already. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So now we're on exercise 1. Shoo! Took a lot of work for me. It says, for Anthony's birthday, his mother is baking cupcakes for his 12 friends at his daycare. The recipe calls for 3 1/3 cups of flour. This recipe makes 2 1/2 dozen cupcakes. Anthony's mom only has 1 cup of flour. Is there enough for each of his friends to get a cupcake? Explain and show your work. Okay, so first off, we're going to figure out what the unit rate of cups of flour to the dozen of cupcakes are. So we really have cups to dozen. Okay, that's the first thing that you should do. Notice I'm kind of just going off a blank sheet of paper, so we're going to see how this goes. So now I have 3 1/3 cups divided by 2 1/2. And if I asked you in class, my guess is everybody that's watching this video would be able to say, Mr. Rich, you can't just do that. Okay, why? Why can't I divide 3 1/3 divided by 2 1/2? We went over this on Friday. I don't want to deal with mixed numbers until the very end. Speaking of mixed numbers, let's go back here real quick. Because I know. Another way that you could have written this would have been 1 1/20 mile per hour. So either way would have been good. I'm sorry. Okay, so in order to do this, we have to take our denominator and we multiply it by our whole number. Take our whole number and we add. So now I have 5 halves getting dividing into, multiply 9, plus, that gives me 10/3. So same idea. If we have to divide, to find the unit rate, we divide by both the denominator into the numerator and the denominator. So really it's looking like I'm dividing 5 halves. Okay, well what does that actually mean? If I'm dividing by 5 halves, keep change flip. I'm going to bring this on down here. So that gives me 10/3 multiplied by 2/5 divided by 5 halves multiplied by 2/5. I do not think that you were taught this last year, but 5 halves and 2/5 are reciprocals or inverses, okay? This is the multiplicative inverse property. When I have a number multiplied by its flipped version or the inverse or the reciprocal, it automatically becomes 1. That's the multiplicative inverse property. For this guy, I multiply across. That gives me 20. That gives me 15. Am I done? Nope. Have to simplify. Divide by 5. Do I need that 1 anymore? No. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. 15 divided by 5 is 3. I can take 4 cups of flour for 3 dozen cupcakes. Everybody with me there so far? What else could I say? Well, I could also say that this is 1 1/3 cups per dozen. You're going to be coming into my room shortly, so I'm going to finish this up. But the question was, can she make a dozen cupcakes with 1 cup of flour? Well, no. Because if we find the unit rate of this, if I divide both by 3, she needs like 1.3 repeating to have it. So no, she can't make enough. And again, this isn't the fraction, but this is the one that tells me she can't make enough because she needs 1 1/3 cups of flour per dozen. If there's a dozen students, it doesn't work. So what I'd like you to do now is still on that sheet. I would like you to try exercise 2. Do A, B, and C. So do exercise 2, A, B, and C, and I will have the answer key either open on the table or on my desk. Go.